What if the one thing you take every morning to protect your health is the very thing putting your brain in danger while you sleep? No warning, no pain, just a quiet, invisible chain of events. Let me tell you a story. It's a story about a man who thought he was building an unbreakable fortress for his health, but he was unknowingly leaving the main gate wide open.
There is a unique language spoken by a pair of hands that have worked a lifetime. It's a language of certainty, of knowing just how much pressure to apply, of feeling the story in the grain of a piece of wood. For Walter Peterson, a 74-year-old retired carpenter, his hands were his legacy. They had built his home, held his wife, and rocked his grandchildren to sleep. But one Tuesday afternoon, in the quiet hum of his workshop, the language faltered. He was putting the final touch on a tiny wooden bluebird for his granddaughter's birthday when his right hand simply stopped listening. It wasn't a tremor. It wasn't pain. It was a sudden, terrifying disconnection. For a split second, the message from his brain, carved this delicate feather, got lost on its way to his fingers. The tool slipped, scoring a deep, ugly gash across the bird's wing. Walter froze, staring at the ruined piece, his heart pounding a sudden, frantic rhythm against his ribs. It was the first time in his life his own body had felt like a stranger. He was experiencing the first whisper of a silent threat, a mind on the verge of being betrayed. Walter was a man built on a foundation of reliability. He was the one you called when a shelf was crooked or a faucet dripped. Independence wasn't just a word to him, it was the air he breathed. But this new, invisible enemy was dismantling that identity, brick by brick. And like so many of us, he decided to fight back with what he thought was the best possible defense. Every morning, like clockwork, he'd line up a small army of supplements on his kitchen counter. A formidable dose of vitamin D for his bones, vitamin E for his heart, a B complex for energy. He was fortifying the fortress, convinced that more was better. He was doing everything right, or so he thought. The betrayals became more frequent, though no less terrifying. A signature on a birthday card that looked like a forgery. A moment of hesitation at the top of a familiar stepladder in his garage. Each instance was a small paper cut on his soul, a reminder of the thief that had moved in. The frustration was immense, but worse was the quiet, creeping fear that followed him into the evenings. One evening, sitting in the silence of his sanctuary, surrounded by the ghosts of projects completed and the promise of wood yet to be shaped, a single, devastating thought surfaced from the depths of his fear. He looked at his hands, the architects of his life, and thought, "It feels like the pages of my own life story are being torn out, one by one, and I can't stop the hands that are doing it." But in that moment of near despair, something shifted. His eyes landed on the old oak. He remembered the storm that had scarred it, how everyone thought it was lost. Yet, there it stood, imperfect but profoundly strong. And he realized, strength wasn't about being invincible. It was about understanding your own foundation, knowing what nourishes it and what poisons it. He decided right then and there, he wasn't going to just throw more pills at the problem, he was going to understand it. That decision, that pivot from fear to curiosity, saved his life. A visit to a sharp doctor and a series of blood tests revealed a shocking truth. It wasn't just age, it wasn't a preordained decline. The culprit was in his health-fortifying morning routine. His well-intentioned high-dose vitamins were creating a silent, dangerous imbalance in his body. By clearing out the clutter and focusing on what his body truly needed, the fog began to lift. The disconnect between his mind and his hands began to mend. He was reclaiming the moments, not through a miracle cure, but through hard-won knowledge. Walter's story isn't about a rare disease. It's about a common, dangerous misunderstanding, one that millions of us, with the best of intentions, could be making right now. He thought he was building a stronger shield, but he was unknowingly weakening the fortress from within.
What Walter learned the hard way is what we're going to share with you now. Because that daily habit of taking a few simple vitamins, something you believe is protecting you, could be silently setting the stage for a stroke, a brain bleed, or a sudden spike in blood pressure. especially during those early morning hours when your body's most vulnerable. You've probably been told that more is better when it comes to vitamins. But what if that's dangerously wrong, especially after 60? We're about to walk through 5 common vitamins that, in the wrong dose or at the wrong time, can pose a serious risk. We'll start with one often recommended for heart health and build our way to the most shocking one of all at the end. And our final, number 1 revelation, it concerns a supplement that a vast number of older adults take every single day. What you don't know about it could be the most critical piece of health information you hear all year. Therefore, I urge you to stay with me through this entire journey. Before we dive in, I'd love to know, have you ever questioned if your supplements could be doing more harm than good? Type a 1 in the comments if you're curious, and a 0 if this is a brand new thought for you. And if this information matters to you or someone you love, please take a moment to like this video and subscribe for honest, science-backed advice. And of course, just a quick, important reminder. All the information shared today is for educational purposes. Everyone's health situation is unique, so please consult your doctor or healthcare provider before making any significant changes to your regimen. Our goal is to empower you to have that informed conversation. All right, let's begin. Our 5th insight, the heart helper that can backfire, niacin, B3. Let's start with a vitamin many people know by name, niacin or vitamin B3. It's often praised as a natural way to manage cholesterol, and some doctors even prescribe it in high doses. You'll find it tucked into heart health formulas, energy drinks, and fortified foods, wearing a halo of wellness. But here's the part of the conversation that often gets left out, especially for us as we get older. In the high doses found in supplements, niacin can quietly send your blood pressure on a dangerous roller coaster ride. The problem is what many call the niacin flush. You take a high dose, and suddenly your face gets hot, red, and itchy. Many people think this is just a harmless, albeit uncomfortable side effect. They might even switch to a flush-free version, thinking they've solved the problem. Yet the underlying mechanism is still at play. To truly grasp how this works, let's use an analogy. Imagine your blood vessels are like sophisticated, flexible rubber bands. When you take a high dose of niacin, it causes those rubber bands to suddenly stretch wide open. That's the flush. But during your body, in its effort to maintain balance, then snaps those rubber bands back, often constricting them even tighter than before. Therefore, you create this stressful yo-yo effect in your entire cardiovascular system. Expand, constrict, expand, constrict. For a younger person, the system might handle this stress. But as we age, our arteries naturally become less flexible. They're more like older, more brittle rubber bands. Subjecting them to this repeated violent stretching and snapping is like constantly stressing a weak point. This can lead to dangerous spikes in blood pressure, stress the heart, and most critically, it can reduce or momentarily disrupt blood flow to the brain. Over time, this instability can contribute to what's called a transient ischemic attack, or TIA, a mini-stroke. It's a direct warning sign that a major stroke could be on the horizon. Many over-the-counter supplements contain 500 or even 1,000 milligrams of niacin. The truth is, for older adults, anything over about 50 milligrams per day should only be used under strict medical supervision. So if you're taking anything for cholesterol or circulation, flip that bottle over. If you see a massive dose of niacin, it's time to have a serious conversation with your doctor. An alarming secret: the vision vitamin that can fool your brain, vitamin A. Next, let's talk about a vitamin we all associate with one thing: good eyesight, vitamin A. Maybe you've taken it for your vision, Or perhaps you've seen it in anti-aging or skin health formulas. It seems so benign, so essential. But here is the alarming secret. Because of how our bodies handle it, too much vitamin A can build up over time and create a terrifying condition that mimics a brain tumor, putting pressure directly on your brain. Here's the critical difference you need to understand. Many vitamins, like C and most B vitamins, are water-soluble. Your body takes what it needs and flushes out the rest. Vitamin A, however, is fat-soluble. Let's use a clear analogy here. Imagine your body as a bathtub. Water-soluble vitamins are like turning on the faucet with the drain wide open. It's hard to overflow. But fat-soluble vitamins like A are like turning on the faucet with the drain partially clogged. Your body stores the excess in your liver and fatty tissues, including your brain. And as we age, our metabolism, particularly our liver function, naturally slows down. This means that drain gets even more clogged, and the tub can start to overflow much more easily, even with what seems like a reasonable inflow. When this overflow happens, when you have toxic levels of vitamin A, it can lead to a condition called pseudotumor cerebri, which literally means false brain tumor. The buildup increases the pressure inside your skull. The symptoms are terrifying and can be easily mistaken for a stroke. Severe headaches, blurred or double vision, dizziness, loss of balance, and even cognitive decline. It's not a clot, it's not a bleed, it's pressure, squeezing the delicate structures of your brain. The scary part is how easy it is to overdo it. Many standard multivitamins already contain 100% of your daily needs, but then people, with the best intentions, add a separate vision formula or skin supplement, not realizing they are now doubling or tripling their intake. The safe upper limit for seniors is around 3,000 international units, or IU, per day. Yet, many supplements proudly advertise 5,000, 8,000, or even 10,000 IU. Taken daily, year after year, the damage quietly accumulates. Therefore, it is absolutely essential to look at the total amount of vitamin A you're getting from all your supplements combined. Crucial strategy number 3, the nerve support vitamin that can damage nerves, vitamin B6. This next one is particularly deceptive because it's so often marketed directly to our demographic. I'm talking about vitamin B6, frequently found in supplements labeled nerve support, brain booster, or energy formula. The promise is compelling. Protect your aging nerves, sharpen your focus, keep your energy levels up. But in a cruel twist of irony, taking too much vitamin B6 over a long period can do the exact opposite. It can cause severe, sometimes permanent nerve damage. The problem here is accumulation. Like vitamin A, excess B6 isn't easily flushed from your system. It builds up and high levels become toxic to the very things it's supposed to protect, your nerves. To understand what's happening, let's use an electrical analogy. Think of the nerves in your hands and feet as complex electrical wires. These wires are protected by a vital coating called the myelin sheath, which is like the plastic insulation on the wire. This insulation ensures the electrical signals from your brain travel quickly and accurately to their destination. What high-dose vitamin B6 can do over time is strip away that insulation. When that protective coating is damaged, the signals start to short-circuit. Therefore, you get symptoms like tingling and numbness in your hands and feet, muscle weakness, poor balance, and unsteady gait. Many people tragically mistake these symptoms for something else: arthritis, simple aging, or even the early stages of dementia. They might even take more of the nerve support formula, thinking they need to fight harder, unknowingly making the problem worse. This condition is called peripheral neuropathy, and when it's caused by B6 toxicity, it's a slow, preventable poisoning. Here's the crucial number. The recommended daily intake for older adults is less than 2 milligrams, and the safe upper limit is generally considered to be 100 milligrams per day, though some research suggests nerve damage can begin at doses as low as 50 milligrams a day over time. However, it is shockingly common to find brain health or nerve pills on the shelf containing 50, 100, or even 200 milligrams in a single tablet. If you're taking one of these every day, you are playing with fire. This is a vital reason to check the labels on every single supplement, especially those making bold claims about brain and nerve health. The second vital truth: the heart helper that can cause a brain bleed. Vitamin E. We're getting closer to our number one reveal. This next vital truth concerns vitamin E. For decades, it's been championed as a heart helper, a powerful antioxidant that supports circulation and protects the cardiovascular system. Millions of older adults take it religiously, hoping to keep their hearts strong and their minds sharp. But here is the life-threatening risk that rarely makes it onto the front of the bottle. In high doses, vitamin E can dramatically increase your risk of a hemorrhagic stroke, that is, bleeding inside the brain. This is especially true if you are taking any kind of blood-thinning medication. The danger lies in vitamin E's natural properties. In high concentrations, it acts as a potent anticoagulant. This means it thins your blood and slows down its ability to clot. Now, if you are already on a prescribed blood thinner like warfarin, Coumadin, Plavix, Xarelto, Eliquis, or even a daily low-dose aspirin, your blood is already being made less likely to clot. Let's use an analogy to see the danger clearly. Imagine your blood's clotting ability is like the brakes on your car. The prescription blood thinner from your doctor is like applying the brakes gently to keep your speed safe on a winding road. This is carefully calibrated and monitored. But when you add a high-dose vitamin E supplement on top of that, it's like slamming on the brakes as hard as you can without telling your mechanic. You've just made your blood too thin. Therefore, the risk of a spontaneous bleed goes way up. And the most dangerous place for that to happen is in the brain. The blood vessels in our brain are incredibly delicate. Even a tiny leak from one of these fragile vessels can have catastrophic consequences, stealing your ability to speak, to remember, to walk in an instant. The numbers here are staggering. The recommended daily intake of vitamin E for an adult is just 15 milligrams, which is about 22 international units, IU. Yet you can walk into any pharmacy and buy bottles containing 400, 800, or even 1,000 IU per capsule. People take these every day thinking they are protecting their heart, when in fact they may be setting the stage for a devastating brain bleed. This is one of the most critical interactions to be aware of. If you are on any heart medication or blood thinner, you must not add a vitamin E supplement without the explicit guidance and approval of your doctor. Our number one game-changing revelation: the bone saver that can harden your arteries, vitamin D. And now we have arrived at our number one game-changing revelation. This is the most surprising and arguably the most dangerous, because it involves the vitamin that is most universally recommended for older adults, vitamin D, the sunshine vitamin. We are told to take it for bone density, for mood, for immune support. It seems like the safest, most essential supplement in our cabinet. But here is the shocking truth I've seen with my own patients. Too much vitamin D, especially taken at night, can quietly calcify your arteries, raise your blood pressure, and significantly increase your risk of an ischemic stroke while you sleep. Here's the sinister mechanism at play. Vitamin D's primary job is to help your body absorb calcium when you take it in appropriate, needed doses. This is a wonderful thing for your bones. However, when you take high doses, and we'll talk about what high means in a moment, you flood your system with far more calcium than your bones can ever use. Your body doesn't know what to do with all this excess calcium floating in your bloodstream. So it starts to deposit it in other places. And one of the most dangerous places it ends up is in the walls of your arteries. To fully grasp this, imagine your arteries are like flexible, elastic garden hoses. They expand and contract with every heartbeat, allowing blood to flow smoothly. Now, imagine pouring liquid concrete into the walls of those hoses. Over time, they would transform from flexible tubes into hard, stiff, brittle pipes. This is exactly what excess calcium does to your arteries. It's a condition called arteriosclerosis, or hardening of the arteries. These stiff, narrow pipes are the perfect environment for a disaster. Your blood pressure rises because the heart has to work much harder to push blood through them. And because the arteries are no longer smooth and flexible, it's far easier for a small blood clot to form or get stuck, blocking blood flow to a critical area. If that clot travels to your brain, that's an ischemic stroke. Now, why is taking it at night particularly risky? Because as we sleep, we naturally become slightly dehydrated, which can make our blood thicker. Your blood pressure also naturally dips and then surges in the early morning hours. Add a calcium spike from a high-dose vitamin D supplement taken before bed into that vulnerable window, and you have created the perfect storm for a stroke. You go to sleep feeling fine and wake up forever changed. The scariest part is the dosage. You can easily buy supplements containing 5,000 or even 10,000 IU. People take these daily, thinking more is better for their bones. Yet compelling research, including studies from institutions like Johns Hopkins, suggests that for most older adults who are not severely deficient, even daily doses above 2,000 IU can start to push calcium levels into a dangerous zone over time. Therefore, and this is our most critical takeaway, vitamin D is not a more is better supplement. It is a hormone, and it must be respected. It is absolutely crucial to get your blood levels tested to know if you even need to supplement. And if you do, work with your doctor to find the minimum effective dose. And always take it in the morning with food, not before bed. Final wake-up call. Your best medicine is awareness. So we've walked through 5 common vitamins, each with the power to quietly harm the brain if we're not careful. The goal isn't to make you fear vitamins. It's to replace that fear with respect and knowledge. Your body at 60, 70, or 80 doesn't process things the same way it did decades ago. That's why awareness is your single most powerful medicine. The truth is, your body was built to thrive not on isolated megadose pills, but on real whole food. A breakfast of a boiled egg, half an avocado, and a handful of blueberries provides a beautiful symphony of nutrients in the balanced way your brain recognizes and uses. So let's quickly recap the journey we took today. We started with our 5th insight on niacin, the heart helper that can put your blood pressure on a dangerous roller coaster. We uncovered an alarming secret about vitamin A, the vision vitamin that can create false pressure in the brain. We learned a crucial strategy regarding vitamin B6, the nerve supporter that can actually damage your nerves. We explored the second vital truth about vitamin E and its frightening risk of causing a brain bleed. And finally, we arrived at our number 1 game-changing revelation, how the beloved vitamin D, the bone saver, can harden your arteries and set the stage for a stroke. Each of these insights is a powerful tool for your health arsenal. Now, I want to hear from you. Which of these revelations, perhaps it was the irony of vitamin B6 or the shocking truth about vitamin D, resonated with you the most? What's one change you'll make starting tomorrow? Please share your thoughts in the comments below. Your story could inspire someone else. If you found this journey valuable, please give this video a thumbs up. It truly helps our channel reach and protect more seniors. And if you haven't already, please subscribe and hit that notification bell so we can keep learning and staying strong together. You are not alone on this journey, and you are never too old to take back control of your health. Until next time, stay curious and stay well.